Hello, we are live. We are indeed live. Hold on, let me just do this real quick. We are live, everyone. Black screen simulator to start the stream. We indeed have black screen simulator to start the stream. Absolute peak LO content. Hello, how's everyone doing? Everyone doing good? Everyone's doing good. As you can see, we're going to be reacting to some of our old top 5 videos, and yeah, this is going to be a treat, everyone. This is going to be something, because some of my old top 5s they have aged really, really badly, so we're going to see how this goes. Like, hi Banana00OG, welcome to the stream. Hi Atomic, hi Vale, hi Some Actual Guy, welcome to the stream. Oh man, we're going to be reacting to at least 5 of them, but if we have more time for today, I will definitely react to more of them. And oh man, like, the top 5 series might be one of my most popular series in all of YouTube. I think they make the most views. Even the most recent top 5s make a lot of views. But, oh man, some of my old ones, I made over 150 of these, and a lot of them were not good looking back at them. So I'm going to wait for other people to join first, and then we'll get started. So, hello, hi everyone. I'm just waiting for more people to join, and then we'll get started. If you're curious on how many vouchers I have 55 more. Oh my god, I just keep grinding for Ikazune vouchers. I really want a lot of the Gammas if I can. Not only do I want more Gammas so I can give away some in the future, but I also just want, you know, I just want them. They just look so cool. I mean, look at this. This looks so cool. Who doesn't want these? So, yeah. Alright. Honestly, I think I'm just going to wait a little bit until more people join, because I am starting the stream a little bit early. And yeah. Yeah, I was on the grind back then. Like, and then I stopped making top 5s. I think from middle 2024 to middle 2025, I stopped making top 5s, and then I just returned to making them. And the reason why I returned to making them is, 1, I enjoy making the top 5s, and 2, because I know I can do them better now than I did before. So that was the big reason why I came back to them, because I could show that I can make them better. And honestly, I think a lot of my recent top 5s are very good. Like, maybe what we should do is, once we react to these first few top 5s, we react to one of my newer ones. So, have you reached Ace yet? I have reached Ace. I've reached Ace, I think, a few days ago. Let me see. I think I'm like at 1220. I haven't played that much Ace after. Yeah, 1220. Yeah, I've reached Ace. I think I'm on the leaderboard still. Barely. Barely on the leaderboards. But yeah, that is indeed crazy. So, let's just honestly get started. So, the first video that we're going to be showing is going to be top 10 worst PvP Lumians. And boy, this video was most certainly something alright. This is... When was this video made? This was made 1 year ago. September 9th, 2023. So, this was... Yeah, this was before Atlantean City Part 2 came out. So, this had 5,000 views and 101 likes, which is just crazy. So, I'm going to be talking about the top 10 worst PvP Lumians. And honestly, this is the video that is the reason why I'm streaming all of these. So, we're going to react to all of these. Is Slavice the second best? Unfortunately, Puffy, Slavice was not in the game when this list was made. And I do want to make another top 10 worst PvP Lumians list. I made 2 of them. I think I made one in 2023, and I made one at the start of 2024, which is this one up here, which we'll react a little later. So honestly, let's just get started. Let's just start reacting to this and see what happens. So, hello everyone, and today, we are back for another top 5 video. Yep, as you can see, my intro is pretty much the exact same, even now. I think I can turn this down a little bit, because I think that's too loud. I think y'all hear it too much. Should I make it... How loud should I make it? Is this fine? Hold on. No. And we're going to be talking about the top 10 worst PvP Lumians in all of Lumian Legacy. Hold on, guys. So these are the least productive Lumians in battle.
Y'all can hear.
And every Lumian counts on this list and will not account to any metas used in Lumian Legacy competitive PvP. So yeah, I think we're fine. I think y'all could hear. Who told you that? Bad list. Slavice kind of sucks. Snow Puffy. Yeah, Slavice would definitely be on my list today. If I made it, Slavice would definitely be up there. But yeah, let's get started on this top 10 list. So, keep in mind, the metagame was before Atlantean City Part 2. So, there are no Soul Burst yet. So, let's see who I put on the list. Number 10 onto this list is going to be Eliguana. Now, I know for other... Oh, boy. Starting off rough. I put Eliguana as a number 10 worst Lumian in the game, when this was probably one of the more meta picks. Now, okay, I hated Eliguana in the past, honestly. Mainly because it looks hideous. I mean, look at its old design. Its old design is absolutely hideous, and I didn't know how to use it back then because it was only used as a stop for Zulong. But it has pivot, has double pivot, has zip zap, flash and flame. I think it even had mudslide up to this point. So I don't know why I put Eliguana on this. Probably because I hated it, and that's why I put it on it. I had no competitive lens back then. Nowadays, Eliguana would probably be my top 10, top 20. I don't know if it'd be top 10. Definitely top 20. So, yeah, it's insane, I know. Because even back then, it was a meta pick to stop Zulong and Ikazune. Which Ikazune was a lot better back then, too, so that is crazy. Under tiers, Eliguana can be a pretty solid ranged tank. Then why did I put it on the list? I have no clue. No clue why I put it on the list. I just hated Eliguana's design, so I was just like, oh, I'm going to put it on the list because I hate Eliguana. Cute Geklo becomes ugly, hideous Eliguana being. Although nowadays the Eliguana redesign actually looks pretty dope. I like the new redesign. GG's on the Snagulp one. Was this before it got Rejuvenate? No, it always had Rejuvenate. I think Eliguana's always had Rejuvenate. So, alright, let's go to number 9. Harvesect and Setamars. And that's why Eliguana is on this list. Oh god. Number 9 onto this list is actually going to be a shocker, as it's Gargolem base. I agree with this pick! You know what? I agree with this pick. Okay? Okay. Gargolem based in a vacuum is not that bad of a Lumian. I mean, let's look at its stats for a second. What was its base stats back then? Do I even show its base stats? Okay, there they are. So those are Gargolem-based stats. And as you can see, none of the stats are horrible. I mean, 115 attack stats, 80 defense stats, and 105 speed. I mean, its stats are not terrible. It actually has good stats. And it does have the Gargolem move pool. Like, it actually has all of Gargolem defensive support moves. And it has all of Gargolem attacks attacking moves. So it has merit. The problem is that Gargolem base is just legit outclassed by all the other Gargolem forms. And I even say in this video that... if any of the other Gargolems are banned, Gargolem base has a niche. But if any of the other Gargolems are active, like if none of them are banned, there's legit no reason to run Gargolem base. Because if you want an attacking Gargolem, use Gargolem attack. If you want a defensive Gargolem, use Gargolem defense. If you want a suicide lead, Gargolem speed is right there. Like, why would you use Gargolem base over the other Gargolems? Metas in this list, because if you're counting metas that ban, like, all the other Gargolem forms, Gargolem base is a really good Lumian. Exactly! Like, if any of the other Gargolems are banned, if even one of them, even if attack or defense, which I think defense form was banned in some tourneys, in some Gargolem bases were ran as a Gargolem, as a low-tier Gargolem defense, which is kind of funny. So, yeah, Gargolem base is horrible. It sucks because it does look cool. I actually think it's a cool roamer. But there's just no reason to use Gargolem base when you have all the other Gargolem forms right there. So, you know what? That's a good spot. It definitely deserves to be on this list. It'll probably be the worst roamer in the game. It's probably the worst roamer in the game, because there's no reason to use this compared to the other forms. Which is sad, because Gargolem base is actually a pretty solid Lumian if the other Gargolem forms did not exist. Lost their Gargolem base once, and then stopped playing for 6 months out of spite. Ouch. I used GPVP Snagulp to get top 4 in the tournament once. I'm still annoyed about Gargolem because I spent 9 hours trying to get SA. Yeah, getting the SA was a nightmare. Yeah, this was in September 9th, 2023 is when this video released. Deserves to be on the top 10 worst PvP Lumians. This one I agree with. Also, add. I totally want to play a game riddled by microtransactions. Thank you, 2K. I totally want to play a game that's riddled by microtransactions. Thank you very much. I don't. Anyway, alright, out of the way, giving myself some free ad revenue, apparently. Let's continue this list. 8 onto this list is going to be Ventation. Now, a lot of people... Yeah, this is fair. Ventation is fair, because it is actually one of the bulkiest melee tanks in the game. Even when Gargoyle Defense was active, because Ventation actually has a very good health stat, and a great melee defense stat, and it does have some good stuff. I mean, it can burn up now, and it has Slumber. Even back then, I think it had Slumber, and it has Soft Watch. So it can heal, it can't reliably heal when they're... Not to mention that Ventation was competing with Tundralin and Obsidragon back then, which both Tundralin and Obsidragon were common at this point in time, so there was no reason to use Ventation over one of those two, which sucks because Ventation in like underused tiers where the other Lumians are banned, Ventation would actually be good. So I'm fine with this. I don't know actually. I think it deserves to be on the list, but I don't think Ventation's fundamentals are that bad, honestly. Like, I think it has good fundamentals. I just wish this was a water fire type. Just make this a water fire type already, honestly. So yeah. Alright, let's head to number 7. Number 7 onto this list is going to be Ragoon. Other than number 10 so far, this list is actually not too bad. Ragoon, yeah, Ragoon. And Ragoon's even worse now because its burglar ability got nerfed to the ground. So, oh, it's brutal. Nowadays it has barbs, so it can be ran with barbs, but oh my god. Back then, it was really bad back then. Even with ability thief, it doesn't have the base stats. Like, what were its base stats? Like, what were its base stats? Show me the base stats, Josh. I know you wanna. Let's see. Some hands, this is a very powerful Lumian. While on the other hand, this Lumian is practically useless. Like, look at how pathetically garbage those base stats were back then. I think nowadays its base stats are better. Let me check what its base stats are nowadays. Ragoon base stats. Because, yeah, it did get a base stat increase. Ragoon, where is it? Hold on a second, I'll find it. Yeah, its base stats, even now its base stats suck now. Oh my god, like, its best attack stat is 100 melee attack, which back then it had 95. Its bulk he's a little bulkier nowadays. Yeah, not even the base stat increase made this Lumian good. Oh my god. Yeah, this Lumian, oh my god, this is bad. Yeah, Ragoon deserves... I'm shocked they didn't put this higher, honestly. This is brutal. And even nowadays, it's pretty bad, too. So, it had a niche in the past, but, oh my god, following the rule that most low BSTs should not have a stat over 100. Yeah, absolute buns, I know. Even now, it's still buns. Even with the base stat increase. Number 6 onto this list is going to be Cinema. Now, how is this not in the top 5? I have no idea. Like, yes, Cinemoth did get good base stat increases, but let's look at its stats back then. What were its stats in 2023? Oh my god! Look at that! Look at those stats! It was so frail back then. 55 melee attack. Like, a breeze of wind would knock this Lumian out. Oh my god. Yeah. The base stats for these Lumians back in 2023 were so bad. Nowadays, Cinemoth actually is a little bit better now. Cinemoth actually has... What is its stats? What stats does Cinemoth have now? Did it at least get a buff in its attack? Because 92 range attack's not it. Yeah. It has 88 speed now, 99 ranged defense, 85 melee defense, 70 HP, and 98 ranged attack now. It still sucks. Cinemoth is still in contention for top 10 worst PvP Lumians, even with Hasten. No, even with Hasten, it just does not hit hard enough. 98 ranged attack is not enough. And back then, 92. Oh, God, this is bad. The problem with Magnify is nowadays it's too slow, and with Hasted, it doesn't hit hard enough. So, Cinemoth is still a Lumian that's very bad, so it definitely deserves to be on this list. Even back then, even nowadays it is. Other than Eliguana at number 10, this list is pretty valid. Yeah, it can't even kill Foolish Sulong, that's crazy. And that's why it's not in the top 5. Like, look at that! Look at how pathetically low that damage was. That was, yeah, that was a resistant hit. But that was Web Shell plus 2 Ferroblast. Like, that was pathetically garbage versus that Falcon on this list, and only at number 6. Number 5 onto this list is going to be Terrafly. Oh yeah, Terrafly was really bad back then. Oh god. Okay. Terrafly nowadays actually has a very good niche because it can run Ambush Gloves. Ambush and Gloves Terrafly actually won someone a tournament in IE's tourney, where it actually overloaded a Tyrex that relied on the rest of the team to break it down. So yeah. But oh yeah, Terrafly. Puffy, Terrafly was bad back then. Like, what was its base stats? So, it did have its moves, and it is something, but let's look at its base stats, because its base stats were a lot worse back then. Where are its base stats, Josh? Where are your base stats? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, look at those base stats. Look at those base stats. 72 speed! 72 speed back then. 72 speed with 97 melee attack. Nowadays? Okay. Let me just tell you Terrafly stats nowadays. 112 melee attack compared to 97. 95 speed compared to 72. It even has more defense. It has 87 melee defense compared to 87. Its range defense is the same. And it has more health. 75 health compared to 70. And 85 energy compared to 70. Oh my god. That might be some of the worst base stats I've seen for a Lumian. Yeah, back then when Lumian Legacy made low route Lumians, they just gave these Lumians like the worst BSTs of all time. Like, it's crazy how low its base stats were back then. Nowadays, thankfully, Terrafly is a lot better nowadays. And it actually is considered a threat because of ambush boosted hits. Like, even swapping into a resistant hit on Terrafly that's ambush boosted in gloves can still deal a lot of damage. So, yeah. Ambush has always given it a niche, but Lachette boosted it. Although now, yeah, it's actually good now. It's actually pretty good now. It won an IE's tourney. Terrafly was an incredible Venolan counter back then. Yeah, it actually was pretty good against Venolan. Not even best bug toxic. Yeah, I think I even said it. I think I said Swolder was better at this time, but nowadays I think Terrafly is better than Swolder nowadays. Even with Brawn Boost counterpoints existing. Florent gotta be on this list, right? Oh yeah, Florent's 100% on this list. I looked ahead. This is 100%. Florent's 100% on this list, but we're gonna get to that in a second. Terrafly is in the top 5 of this list. Number 4 on this list is going to be an event Lumian, and it's Waka Laka. Yep, Waka Laka makes sense. Waka Laka, at least nowadays, has Mycotic, so it can actually patch up its quad weakness to Dark, but even then, it's kind of a niche Lumian, and that's kind of it. And you gotta keep in mind that this was before Totemize stats. It couldn't have Totemize stats back then, so it was a lot worse back then compared to what it is now. So, yeah. Bug Fever's pretty good. Yeah, Bug Fever is actually not bad on Terrafly if you can catch a KO, but I think Ambush Gloves is the best set right now. But yeah, Waka Laka makes sense on this spot. Waka Laka was very bad back then. First Lumians and Lumian Legacy, and it deserves number 4 on this list. Yep, I agree with that. The useless Lumians now, and number 3 onto this list is Avatros. Oh, there's going to be a lot of controversy here, but okay. Avatros back then, like, what was its base stats at this point? What was its base stats? Okay, there's its base. Okay, I think its base stats aren't terrible. 100 melee attack isn't bad. 113 speed, 80 energy. You know, not terrible. It's not bulky, but oh my god, the thing is with Terrafly back then is that it had just Nosedive and just Thunder Crash. It did not have a brawler type move to save its life. The only brawler type move it had was Driving's Force, which is so it does not synergize well with Avatros's rev up ability. So its two best moves recoil itself. It's frail, and even if you get a Brawn boost up with a +1 speed boost, you could not hit 40% of the meta. Like 40% of the meta resistant your two moves. Which is just ridiculous. Yeah, Avatros was horrible back then. I hated Avatros back then. Thankfully, nowadays, it has Rogue Assault, meaning it can actually hit Lumion. It can actually hit Ice types and Metal types. Like, it can hit Tyrex now, it can hit Himber. It can even have decent matchups versus Lashant, although Lashant, I think, lives +2 nosedive pretty convincingly, but still, like, it actually has a good niche now that it has Rogue Assault. And it's even better because Rogue Assault does not actually recoil yourself. So yeah, this makes sense. I don't think I would have put it this high. I still think Cinemoth and Terrafly are worse than Avatros even back then. So that I would change. But, oh my god, this is just brutal. I remember before Atlantean City Part 2 when I was ranking all the routes together. And I just absolutely slammed Avatros to the bottom to every single list. And just crapping on it every single time. Thankfully, Avatros and Atlantean City Part 2 got Rogue Assault, and it at least has a nice, it's at least a nice cheese option for any hyper offensive team. But yeah, Avatros was bad back then. What's the worst PvP Lumion right now? I don't know, honestly. I gotta make a list soon. But number 2 onto this list is going to be Florent. Now, oh yeah, you're right, Puffy. It's crazy to think how old the OG Avatros model was so old. Alright, number 2 was Florent. That makes sense. Florent was bad back then. Yeah, Florent was horrible. This was before, now keep in mind, I did rank Soulburst Florent as the lowest ranked Soulburst on the list, but that is miles, and I mean miles better than this Florent. This is back then when Florent had no Soulburst. Let's look at its base stats. Florent is a massive downgrade to Avatros. This thing is bad. Remember when we were running Magnify on this? Well, those were the days. Lumion, it's oh my god! Look at those base stats. Look at those base stats. Those base stats are horrible. It's bulky and that's it. Oh my god! Soulburst Florent is huge for this. The worst Lumion 2025 got to be Noctilec or Knockout. Yeah, they're definitely in contention. Bywarden's better than Hydralin. Honestly, I agree. I think Hydralin's horrible. Yeah, Drainage was the best ability for Florent back then. Luxor, Luxor is on this list, but as an honorable mention. And I'm not gonna lie, Luxor should have been on this list because Luxor has the same problems as Avatros. Also, look at this tech Luxor back then. I ran very brawny, quick pounce Luxor. Look at this absolute tech back then. This was mixed Luxor. This was absolute peak tech, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my god, this was absolute peaks tech. I know, like this was horrible. This is a bad list. Luxor should have been on the list over Eliguana. But I just hated Eliguana so much back then. So September 9th, 2023 me just was like, oh, I hate Eliguana's design. Let's put it on the list. So yeah. And then I think my other honorable mention was Festifer. And the reason why I didn't put Festifer is because I had Regift and Icicle Trap. So I'm glad that I kept Festifer off the list. Now, get ready for a little bit of deja vu. Because the worst Lumion in September 9th, 2023 was... The worst Lumion in all of Lumion Legacy is... Wiki Wiki. Shield your innocent eyes! Wiki Wiki at some point was the worst PvP Lumion in all of Lumion Legacy. Oh gosh! I wish we were back in these times! Oh man! Nowadays, Wiki Wiki is probably one of the best PvP Lumions in the game. Funny how giving this Lumion Herbal Remedy has shot this Lumion from one of the worst in the game to one of the best in the game. It's crazy. Oh god. Still has the worst. Yeah, it still is the worst to fight against. I know. Boy, have times changed. Wiki Wiki being number 1 back then, though, does make a lot of sense. Although, I think I should have put Florent above it, honestly. I think I should have put Florent above it, but still. It's crazy how times change. How Wiki Wiki was considered one of the worst Lumions back in 2023, in 2021, and 2022. And then, oh yeah, there's a clip I want to show you. This is, oh god. So yeah, Wiki Wiki still has no offensive pressure, but look at this clip. So, Helvetic is at half HP, and this was a 70 power mudslide. Get ready. Wow. Like, as a support Lumion, it's okay. Yeah. But everywhere else, it's awful. It doesn't even defeat... I'll give it that. It does live a crit Baneful Bash from Helvetic. I'll give Wiki Wiki that. It always has insane bulk to stick around. Like, that is something Wiki Wiki has always had. A Helvantic at half health with a quad effective move. Boy, that... And keep in mind, back then, I was just like, if a Lumian can't deal damage, they're going to be bad. Even though tanks are supposed to stall Lumians out and not necessarily deal damage. So, that was the biggest thing I think that made me put Wiki Wiki #1. Just Helvantic living that hit, which is just kind of funny. Oh my god. If a Banfino is able to provoke it, those base stats, yeah, those base stats, I mean, they're bad, but they're a lot better nowadays, not to mention that they're not as bad as some of the other Lumians on the list. What were some of the comments from this video? Oh yeah, I commented saying, this list aged horribly. Wiki Wiki went from number 1 worst Lumian to number 1 most approved Lumian. How times change. What were some of these comments? What were some of the comments? This aged horribly, lol. Iguana really decent, would not place it at worst. I disagree with Avatros and LA. Florence obviously not true anymore after the new update. Wiki Wiki is useful with health gift. Oh yeah, I forgot it did have Bequeath back then. Speeder gonna be mad if he sees Festifer. Cinemoth is my favorite Lumian. It's a shame they didn't get a Soul Burst. I want to see you battle with a full team of the worst. Have offensive Terrafly on my team. The weakest, but one of the most useful. It's kind of weird. Tried Drainage Florent, who had Drain Orb. It's broken. The problem with Florent back then is that it's just so predictable. It's the world's most predictable Lumian. Like, you knew it was coming. This is going to be a controversial vid. I think everyone can agree with that. Luxor, one of my favorite Lumians. This is the biggest L you've ever taken. El Iguana is perfect in every possible way, and Avatros is also not a top 10 Lumian. Yeah, you gotta love it. Oh, Terraso. My opinion, the top 10 worst are... Oh, let's see what Terraso's top 10 worst is. Wiki Wiki, Cinnamon, Florent, Luxor, Waka Waka, Vocaloa, Ragoon, Laracat, Terracino, and Sherbot. Okay, that's fair. I'm seeing more Ventations now. Ventation and Iguana on this list. Man, this list can't be taken seriously. I love reading these old comments. 4. The El Iguana slander continues. Thankfully for you, the El Iguana slander has completely ended. Yay! Hopefully another video first. Oh my god, that was peak. That was absolute peak top. Yeah, that was bad. That was a bad list. Okay, what do y'all? Let's see what y'all are saying. Hello, Josh. Hi, WC. Welcome to the stream. Well, that one didn't quite age so well. Laracat is not bad. I mean, it's not bad, but I think it gets outclassed by everything. There's so many things that can kill it before it can do anything. Not Vocaloa. Yeah, 4 times weakness to ice is brutal for Florent. I agree. Although its Soul Burst is at least its Soul Burst is really good, and that's it, really. Alright, that was my first list. Now, let's do top 5 overrated Lumians. Number 1 is a fraud. Oh, God. Oh, God. I already know who number 1 on this list is, and y'all are gonna hate me for this. Y'all are gonna hate me. This was made in January 13th, 2024. 3,700 views. Oh, God. Oh, God. I already know who number 1 is going to be. So, let's honestly just get into this list, and let's see who the top 5 most overrated Lumians are. So, number 5 onto this list is going to be a former Uber in Your Soul. You know what? I agree with this. Yes, Your Soul in 2021 and 22 was actually considered an Uber because it just hit so hard. It hit so hard back then. But it just dealt supreme damage. But once it got at around the meta where Obsidian and Tundralin was everywhere, this might have been when Tundralin started to fall, actually, because this was 2024. And this is when Lashent started to get used as well. So I actually think, yeah, Your Soul, I think, was still considered an Uber up to this point. Actually, no, I think it started to fall out of Uber status. So this was after Lithium City Part 2. I agree with putting Your Soul on this list. Your Soul was very good back then. It's really not that good now, although I guess it can be dangerous at Brawn Boost and Vital Jab. I think that's a very bad idea, Jamie. Why did we give it Brawn Boost Vital Jab? Oh, God. Too long can be OHKO'd by Florent? Yeah, because Florent does hit hard with Power Draw. So yeah, Florent makes... Yeah, I agree with Your Soul on this list. I think it was overrated. No longer an Uber nowadays, and that's why it's on the list. Number 4 into this list is going to be Crabtana. Oh, wait. Oh. Did I make this after my top 20? Let's see. Yes, I did overrate Crabtana when putting this on my top 20 PvP Lumians list. There you go! Righting my wrongs! Righting my wrongs, ladies and gentlemen! I wrote my wrongs and put Crabtana up there! Like, okay, overall, in the basis of the meta, Crabtana was never overrated. Like, Crabtana was never overrated. But in the case of me, putting it at number 20 in my top 20 PvP Lumians list, it was overrated. So that's why I added it. So you know what? I'm going to give myself some praise there for righting my wrongs. You know what? I'm down with that. I'm down with this. Even though Crabtana overall is not really overrated, putting it on this list makes a lot of sense considering the context of the situation. Never seen Crabtana in PvP in my life? Yeah, I think I don't see it often either. I saw it last night, surprisingly. I was in meta-analysis chat, and someone faced a Crabtana. It did absolutely nothing. I mean, it did KO a Lashent from no HP, but that was kind of it, really. So, it didn't really do that much. But, I mean, Vengeance Crabtana is still pretty good, but problem is that it gets outclassed by both Revenine and Servalan, which, by the way, Servalan is losing Vengeance, so that is interesting. So, yeah. But it does deserve number 4 in the list. Yep, I'm fine with that. Number 3 to this list is going to be Terradistant. Is Terradistant overrated? Was it even overrated back then? I don't even know. I've seen Terradistant every once in a while, and it actually did have high usage and eats tourneys, because Mesmerizing is actually very good versus Thawmin and Wildfire Landtorch. But would I consider it overrated? Okay, let's see what I said. Let's see why I think it's overrated. Terradistant? More like Terradistant. More like terrible. Wow! I was savage! Terrible! Great joke. Great joke there, Josh. Oh yeah, maybe that's a little harsh. Terradistant isn't terrible. Mesmerizing is a very good ability, making it so it isn't priority bait. And its defensive typing is actually pretty good, only having 2 weaknesses, that being to Metal and Dart. It actually does have a pretty good defensive typing. Being quad weak to Metal does suck, but it actually does have a very good defensive typing, especially when you consider how good its melee bulk actually is. It's a pretty flexible Lumian too. You could run it with Specialty Gloves Watcher and deal a lot of damage. You could use a Drudge setting set. You could even run Flash and Flay and gain momentum, even though that really isn't that good. It can be ran with that. So it can be ran both offensively and defensively, giving Terradistant a lot more depth compared to other Lumians. But the biggest problem with Terradistant is that it needs 3 Drudges in order to actually be dangerous. And that's not a bad thing. I think back then, if Lumian wasn't busted broken, I considered it bad back then. I think that's the reason why I added it on the list. Like, that's not a bad thing. If a Lumian can win off a 1 Drudge, then it's busted. Like, if you need to, like, that's the thing that makes Terradistant a fine Lumian, because yes, it has a lot of pros, but it also needs 2 or 3 Judges in order to be dangerous. Like, that is its biggest flaw. And if you play right with Terradistant, if you get Lumians chipped, if you get hazards up, Terradistant can be dangerous. Not to mention that it can prevent priority. Like, there's a lot of pros with Terradistant. I actually disagree with this spot. I actually don't think Terradistant's set over. I think it's properly rated. I think it's rated properly. Maybe its usage was a little high at some points, but I don't think it was ever overrated per se. So you know what? I disagree with that spot. Honorable mentions on this list. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Alright, here comes the controversies. Dragodyne is on this list. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Dragodyne is on this list. And I know what people are thinking. Like, yeah, there is a moment in time where Dragodyne was not that good. I just want you to look at something real quick. I'm circling the problems here. Oh boy! Like, yes, Dragodyne did have only 70 speed back then. I think, actually, wait a minute. Did it get nerfed to 60 speed, actually? It actually, yeah, it got nerfed to 60 speed, so it actually got a lot slower than it needed to be. But it doesn't matter. 125 ranged attack, Anomaly Draco Beam? Like, who can switch in? Who can switch into Anomaly Draco Beam? Who can switch into Anomaly Draco Beam? Nothing can. Nothing! Nothing can! You know how dangerous Dorgo is? And honestly, the lower speed stat might be a blessing in disguise, because you could actually run this under Beta Haste. Oh my god, this is bad. This is bad. Oh god. Yeah, it did back then, but it was like broken. One Draco Beam hit, and this thing just cleaned up the game. Not to mention it had Palm back then too, so that's a bad placement. That's bad. That is horrible. Honorable mentions on this list, and it's going to be your snack. Now, I have a lot of reasons why. Can I just slam my head on the keyboard at this point? Yeah, this was made right after my top 20 PvP list, where I put your snack at number 16 and not into the top 5. And I said this in my last time I've reacted to this. And, oh yeah, Palm doesn't work with Anomaly. You're right, Solex. Yeah, so I couldn't even run Palm. Okay, I think that's fair then. But, again, Anomaly Draco Beam is just so strong. But yeah, Draft Legend, like, this was when I was like, oh, if your snack can't deal any damage, it's a bad Lumian, even though it can do everything else so well. So, yeah, why was I like this back then? Why was I like this? I was always a Your Snack hater back then. Nowadays, I understand why Your Snack is so dangerous. And my most recent top 20 PvP list, I put it Your Snack all the way up to number 4. So, yeah. I already talked about why I put it Your Snack this low back then, and I'm not going to really talk about it again. But let's just say it didn't deal enough damage, so let's put it below the bottom. It's overrated because it couldn't deal damage. I was so stupid back then. And this was only 18 months ago, by the way. This was only 18 months ago. So, yeah, it wasn't even really that long ago. Did I have any other honorable mentions? What did I have to explain to myself? Let's see what I needed to say. This Lumian has no offensive pressure at all. It doesn't have to have offensive pressure! It's one of the bulkiest Lumians in the game! It didn't need to have offensive pressure! Oh, you can pivot into a good teammate, Josh! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god, and I already know who number 1 is. Let's just get the funny aha squid out of the room. Let's do it. But it isn't enough to be on the list. Show me number 1. The most overrated Lumian in all of Lumian Legacy is Cephalops. Yep, the funny squid guy at number 1, Josh. Yep. It's not a fraud. I used it in Season 2. It's broken. It's insanely busted broken in Season 2. Maybe it isn't as good now as it was in Season 2, because it now lost Frost Beam, but still, the squid guy was so broken. Like, okay, I was on the side that Cephalops was not as broken because I haven't seen it being broken. It's a different kind of broken compared to other broken Lumians. It's not something that will completely just 5-0 a team. It's a Lumian that will gradually deal damage over time that will heal its HP back because it had Bloodsucker and Soul Drain. But back then, I was always an offensive-orientated player. So I was just like, oh, it didn't OHKO anything, so it has to be at the bottom. It has to be overrated. Like, let's see what I have to say about Funny Squid. The biggest fraud in all of Lumian Legacy. Oh, God. How is this Lumian an Uber again? Well, let's talk about the positives first. The positives. It has a high health stat, meaning that it has great bulk on both sides. It also hits pretty hard. It's very good for bulky offensive teams. It has Hypnotize, and it has Icicle Traps. And how wasn't it more broken back then? It had Hypnotize, and keep in mind back then, Hypnotize was a one-turn move. You clicked it once, and you put it to sleep. It was even more broken back then, because of Hypnotize. That's where the positives end. It has a whopping 5 weaknesses. That doesn't even include being weak to Deep Freeze and being quad weak to Boiling Press. Fair. And while you do have Soul Drain, there are a lot of range tanks nowadays that are not weak to Cephalops and can live 3 hits from it. Not to mention, Cephalops' biggest flaw is no setup. With setup, Cephalops would be broken. Like, that's the thing that did not slip in my head back then, is that that's the reason why it doesn't have any setup. If it had setup back then, this thing would just run around everywhere. It'd set up palm every single time, and it would just legit never die. Like, that just never slipped into my head back then. That if this thing had any form of setup, this thing would just completely sweep every team. Like, Lumians need to have flaws. Lumians need to have flaws in order to play a balanced game. And even without it, like, even without specialty goggles, which, keep in mind, goggles did not exist back then. Goggles did not exist back then. So, it didn't hit as hard as it used to. So, it would either run Dark Essence, Dark Shell, or Rachel Plushie. So, oh my god, yeah, this is bad. This is bad. Why was this number 1? Oh my god. I had a very bad mindset back then for PvP. Boy, I'm glad I'm out of that now. Let's see what the comments say to this. Let's see what the comments have to say. Oh god, I don't even want to see these. I don't even want to see this. Cephalops. Oh, Jimmy Joe Bobby just commented. Oh, Jimmy. Hi, Jimmy. It is really scary because it can live super effective hits very easily. Yeah, Goggles was the reason that made it very broken in Season 2. Some of these takes suck like Cephalops. They aren't even overrated. Cheyenne and Scampy. Scampy was not overrated. And Crabboss did not make the... Crabboss was not good enough to make the list, is the problem. They wound up asking for all Soul Burst ranked in double battles. That is very hyper-specific. Maybe Terradistant isn't as good, but they don't realize that legit all the other Drug Lumians die to V-Nebri Zulong. Oh, that is actually a fair point. It can actually live a Zulong hit, which is fair. That's the reason why I'm saying Cephalops is a very bad thing to use. I even questioned the community why they consider it as uber. Heck, it's somehow worse than any Lumian that can't set up. Okay, I have to disagree with that now. I'm sorry about your Cephalops take. It's the worst opinion I ever heard. Fair! That is perfectly fair. Where's Cramboss? Oh, I actually reacted to this. I was actually thinking about Cramboss, but I don't think it's overrated as the other Lumens on the list. Fun fact, I had a Cramboss at +6 once, and it couldn't even OHKO a Bar Blast. Oh, that's funny! Oh, I couldn't even OHKO a Bar Blast at +6! 164 base HP is busted? Yeah, that thing is bulky. Yeah, 162 for, I think, Wiki, and 164 for Cephalops. I started to hate Cephalops because my favorite realm out there, because it reminds me of how I used to go fishing with my uncle. Terradistant already has a Terra sound from Terrible, so that pun was mid. Wow, making fun of my puns! None of these are overrated. Axe, stop doing these top 5s when you don't even know what you're talking about. You know what? You know what, noob? Fair. Fair. You know what? I'm going to agree with you on that comment. Fair. That's a fair comment. I did not know what I was doing back then. Thankfully now, I think a lot of my top 5s nowadays are a lot better than they used to be. I hope they are. I hope. Even then, I think I still made a mistake not putting Wintrix in my top 20, which, that's fair. I sent Terrace set below, copy and paste in the calculator. It might be overrated, but it's not that bad. Yeah, I think that's a fair take. Yeah, I don't think it was ever bad. Can you do underrated Lumian videos? And Cosmere Crack is a good last resort. Yeah, back then, Cosmere Crack was very good. For me, I used Watcher Bill in my Terradistant Heavy Shield since I used all of its energy before it dies. Terradistant is actually the best set on Terradistant. Yeah, the thing is, Terradistant is very flexible. You can run it in a lot of different ways, which is cool. Like, that is a cool thing about Terradistant. Fraud, like Frudge Kuna from... I don't get that joke. I think Cramboss is overrated because of Battle Chime. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's overrated. Razor? Exactly! Is it supposed to have offensive pressure? Exactly! 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 It's one of the best takes in the game. Like, what was my hatred for your snack back then? I don't get it. For me, Cheyente's on this list, 2 or 3. Cheyente does need a Brawn boost to do damage, but I feel like its fast speed and great coverage covers up its lack of damage enough to keep it off the list. Yeah, that's fair. I think that's fair on both sides. Oh, that's you! Banana OG, I think was originally... He was originally in the stream, so that's a cool little callback. What the heck is this list? No one even talks about Terra and Crab being broken. For Crabtana being on this list, it makes sense because of where I ranked it on my last list, but it definitely doesn't deserve to be on anyone else's overrated list. When are we getting a 2024 tier list? I think I did one later. Your Soul being here is criminal. No, it's not. It's not at all. Your Soul is not overrated. It's still a great threat to most offensive Lumians. I disagree. I think Your Soul is overrated. Dragodine fell off hard. Wow. Your stack is annoying. Yeah, that's it. Your Soul is formerly Uber because I had Chase Down. Oh yeah, I had Chase Down back then. That makes sense. Dragodon also getting a nerf. Jamie said one day Anomaly is getting replaced. It lost Anomaly, and then it wasn't that good for a little bit. And then it got a Soul Burst. And then it got Staunch. Oh man. And now it's pretty good again. I've always wondered why Dragodine is such a slow speed stat for a dragon. I thought Craptana was one of your favorite Lumians though. Fraudulups, ranking all types, please. Wow, that was a very interesting list. I don't know how to feel about it. I think it's a bad... I think it's worse than my last one. I think this is worse than my last one. At least with my last list, I only had like 1 or 2 bad placements. This one, I think all my placements besides Your Soul are bad. Oh my god, this was a bad list. Alright, let's head into one of my next lists. Let's head into... ranking the Varis from worst to best. This is one of my very old videos. Josh, I have a question. Would Cosmillion be broken with Bitter Cold? I don't know. Maybe. It could maybe. So this was made in May 17th, 2022. This was one of my very early lists. This was made very early. I hate your snack. Yeah, I think a lot of people hate your snack. Southern Lumian was Crackalola. When Eliguana just Sip Slap out of the switch, it hits harder to kill Wintrix. Yeah, nothing really takes a hit from Wintrix. So yeah, Wintrix hits very hard. Alright, here we go. I don't think Pyrolin was in the game at this point. I don't think Pyrolin was in the game at this point. We'll see, though. And Hydrolin was not in the game at this point, because this was May 17th, 2022. So, let's see what this list... Oh, yeah, I did a giveaway for this. I did a giveaway. So, let's see who number 8 was. So, this was one of my old top 5s. Ranking all the Varis from worst to best. It had 28,000 views.
The worst Variation in the game. And
oh my god, that voice was horrible.
It's Servalin, and the thing is with Servalin is Servalin isn't bad.
Yeah, Servalin back then was not that good. That makes sense.
It's not a bad Lumian. It's actually pretty good, honestly. I mean, Boast, Vengeance, has very good melee attack.
Yeah, mic quality back then was bad. Yeah, sorry about the mic quality on this. This video had 294 likes! Yeah, Servalin being right there makes sense. That makes sense. Servalin was not good back then. Alright, let's see who number 7 is.
So into number 7, this one is very questionable because it actually is going to be Kirillin.
Yeah, Kirillin is always a controversial Lumian because Kirillin, we all know what Kirillin can do. But and then you have situations like this. I think this battle's the perfect example of this. Watch. I'm going to turn off the mic quality so y'all don't hear. Like, watch this battle real quick. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Boop! It missed! There it is! That's why it's this low, even though it hit so hard, it missed. And keep in mind, back then, it did not have Hasty, so it could not set up. It could not get an accuracy increase at all. I think there's one of these clips early. Oh, this was it clutching out a match, actually. Plus 6 Tundrelin, and it actually dealt decent. It actually 1v1 at plus 6 Tundrelin. If you can't hit the Lumian, it's not worth using. Yeah, that's the reason why I put it this low. But it did actually 1v1 a plus 6 Tundrelin. I'll give it that. It did 1v1 it. It didn't have Sharpen back then. So yeah, even nowadays, Kirillin is still kind of hard to use, even with Sharpen and all that stuff. So it makes sense why Kirillin is still... So far, this list isn't too bad, actually.
Although, it is very good when it does hit the Lumian. So that's why it's number 7. Let's head into number 6.
Better than great for XP,
number 6 in the list is going to be kind of surprising because it actually is Wyndolin. And
Okay, what was Wyndlin back then? Because I don't think it had Fadeaway yet. So it was just another... So this Lumian back in 2022, May 17th, 2022, was outclassed by Vesperatu. Vesperatu was just overall a better Lumian back then. Because, yeah, it did not have Dazzling Barrage. It did not have Fadeaway. So it was outclassed by Vesperatu back then. Not to mention, your snack had Shadow Smart back then, so it did a lot of damage to Wyndlin coming in. And it did not have Fadeaway Pivot, and it did not have Dazzling Barrage. Nowadays, Wyndlin is actually very good. It's actually one of the better hit-and-run Lumians in the game. It can be ran with very nimble gloves or very brawny boots, and it can just do a lot of hit-and-run damage. It just clicks Fadeaway, and the light types that switch into Fadeaway get hit by Mega Chomp. I actually think Wyndlin could be a top 5, maybe even top 3 Vari nowadays. It makes sense why Wyndlin is this low on the list. I think it's a good Lumian, but back then it was outclassed by Vesperatu. Now, funnily enough, Wyndlin outclasses Vesperatu, which is hilarious. Boy, how the tides have turned 3 years later.
It's a hard-hitting beast. So on number 5 at the list, it's actually going to be a Buzzlin. And the
Buzzlin over Wyndlin? That is weird. That's a weird... What was Buzzlin like back then in 2022? Vigorous? Okay, it did have all its moves. Had Barter, which... That is always a fair move. 101 speed, 99 melee attack. Okay, I could see why Buzzlin was... I could see why I put Buzzlin above Wyndlin. I think I disagree now. But back in 2022, I think Buzzlin was a lot better back then, and then power creep happened. Because the thing is, you could give yourself a bird from Vigorous, and you'll get boosted. So it's actually... It had a niche as a fast Vigorous Lumian. And not to mention, you could use Lumians like Luminami and your snack to baffle this guy in. And then you can get the Vigorous boost, and then you could either do one of two things. You can either do extreme damage with Adaptive Assault, which has one of the best secondary effects out of all the Adaptive Assaults. It just does extra chip damage. Or two, you could barter the Volcanic Ash to a melee attacker and stun melee attacker. So it actually did have a lot of flexibility, and it still does nowadays. Problem is nowadays is that Buzzlin's only big moves is that it got parasitized so it could heal, but it didn't really do that much more damage. And it got poison barbs, which is nice, but it doesn't really help it too much. So Buzzlin didn't really change that much, while the meta around it did. So that's why Buzzlin is a lot worse nowadays. I don't think it's the worst Vari in the game, but it's down there as a bottom 3, I would say. I would say it's a bottom 3. So let's get to number 4. I can see why I put Buzzlin in the top 5. At this point in time, I can see why it got that. Hyper Sting is crazy, also getting double beat. Yeah, it's getting double beat to hit your snack, but it also means it. But it also has the bonus of having 2 potential chances of proccing Scorching Skin. Well, it's getting Mega Buffed in Season 4. It's getting Counterpoise, Hyper Sting, Double Sting, and Lunge. So it actually is getting better moves. Obsidian and Tunderlin was outclassed by other tanks like Luminami and Lumishat. Yeah. I want a Tunderlin so bad, but I can't get it anymore without trading. Walled by metals. Yeah, it is walled by metals, though. Hydrolin Showcase when? Never. Counterpoise is questionable, but the other move is an insane buff. Yeah. Let's see what number 4 on this list is.
So, at number 4, it is actually going to be Zeppelin.
I agree with this. You know what? I agree with Zeppelin. I think Zeppelin's a very Even nowadays, I think Zeppelin's pretty underrated. I mean, its base stats are pretty good. It has solid bulk on the melee side, but not good range bulk. It always hit pretty hard. Had Palm, had Provoke, had Gust. Even nowadays, it's one of the few Lumians that still has Gust. Keep in mind, this was before it had Bloodslide and Landslide to hit those pesky metal types that it couldn't hit before. So you know what? This, so far, I do not hate this list so far. I agree. Zeppelin's underrated. Yes, I agree. Even nowadays, Zeppelin is very underrated. Now that it has Spite, it's actually, I think, one of the better stall breakers in the game right now. Honestly, I agree. Zeppelin can be ran with a lot of movesets as well. And not to mention, it isn't a one-trick pony anymore. Back then, it was a one-trick pony because it would only run Turbulent. But I can actually see Sharp Focus Zeppelin be ran in wind teams because 110 base power Typhoons actually hit very hard, and not being able to miss Spite is a very huge deal. So, Zeppelin, even nowadays, is still very underrated. I think I would rank it at around this spot now. I agree with this spot. I think Zeppelin's very underrated.
So, yeah. And plus Provoke definitely helps it out a lot.
Yeah, and it's one of the better Provoke Lumians as well. Although even nowadays, it would probably not run Provoke nowadays. It would probably run Gust or Perch as a 4th move.
So, number 3.
Yeah, Sharp Focus Typhoon is something. It does a lot of damage. Yeah, that thing hits very hard. And it can be ran defensively and offensively now, because Pure Air is actually a pretty good defensive typing, as you only have 2 weaknesses, and if you Perch, you will have no weaknesses at all. So, there's a lot of flexibility there. Yeah, Plasmoth is definitely the best Provoke Lumian right now. Plasmoth is, which, that is a flaw. It does have a bad matchup versus Eliguana and Plasmoth, but even then, I think it's still very underrated. It can spite Plasmoth before it provokes it, and then you could stop its momentum by going into an Earth type to stop Zip Zap. So, you can bait the Plasmoth pretty easily, although just don't get trapped in by it.
Number 3 is gonna be Venilin, and
yeah, Venilin was very good back then. Venilin's, even nowadays, I think still a pretty solid Vari, but I think it's lower than Zeppelin right now. But yeah, Zeppelin back in 2022 was one of the best ranged tanks in the game. Nothing else to really say here. Definitely deserved the spot.
top 2 Varis are basically broken as heck. So, into number 2. Number 2 is gonna be Wrestling.
Oh yeah, okay. 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 A lot of people might think this is nuts that Wrestling is this high on the list, because nowadays, Wrestling is very bad. You don't know peak Wrestling. When the power level was a lot lower, and when the common spirit type was Vesperadu, Wrestling absolutely destroyed teams back then. Wrestling destroyed teams back then. Oh my god. Prime Wrestling, that thing just 5-0'd teams on the spot. The reason why it isn't very good nowadays is because it's slow speed stat. Like, 78 speed is way too slow nowadays, and it also has a lot of other coverage moves, so it can't run stretch bulk up as easily. Not to mention, there's just a lot more other spirit types that are ran nowadays, so Wrestling gets walled a lot easier. But, oh my god, this thing was peak back then. Wrestling, in May 2022, it was one of the top Varis in the game. It was. I agree with this pick. Nowadays, it would probably be bottom 3. Oh my god, the Shuri team without a day with Rogue Assault plus all trio punch. Yeah, it can run gloves and boots still nowadays. Wrestling and Banana Split teams. Yeah, I think Wrestling could actually work on Banana Split if it could actually find a way to deal with the Spirit type. If you find a way to deal with the Spirit type, I think Wrestling can actually cook a Banana Split. That's fair, actually. I gotta try that at some point. I haven't used Wrestling in a while. And then the top Vari is probably Tundraland.
So at the number 1 list, the best Vari is Tundraland.
Yeah, Tundraland was really good in May 2022. That makes sense. It was the best melee tank back then. It was even better than Obsidian at this point. And then Obsidian got Body Crash and outclassed Tundraland. And then it sent Tundraland very bad. Before it rise in usage again because of Ambush Lashent with Fade Away being ran everywhere. So, yeah, it was useful for a little bit at the beginning of 2024. And then after that, it just kind of fell off again. I don't think it's a bottom 3 Vari, but it's not really that good even nowadays. So, yeah, honestly, I'm going to give myself this. Why is this list better than my list from 2024? Besides the mic quality, which was bad, this is actually a really good list. This list actually aged pretty well. This actually is a very good list, I'm not going to lie. I actually like this one. This one a lot better than expected. It was the highest usage along with Obsidian. I know, yeah. Had PTSD of getting walled by a Tundraland with a full team of melee attackers. I know, like, if you had just melee attackers, Tundraland would just win the game on the spot. But yeah, this is actually a good list. This list surprisingly aged well. Compared to, I can see why this one got 28,000 views. But I'm not going to look at the comments on these, because most of these comments are going to be GSA Vari. So, yeah. We're not going to look at the comments for this one. But yeah, honestly, this is probably one of my better lists I've watched so far. And this came in May 17th, 2022. How is this list better than the ones from early 2024? Which, speaking of early 2024, Joshua Star 77. Top 10 worst PvP Lumians in early 2024. Oh gosh. Oh dear. We're back to that time period, guys. Oh man. So, this list had 8,000 views. I think this is more than my other top 10 worst PvP Lumians. So, this came after Atlantean City Part 2. So, let's see what my this is my most recent top 10 worst PvP Lumians. This came 18 months ago, and this came right before the top 20, and right before the other top 5 overrated Lumians. So, I don't have high hopes for this one. This is going to be bad, I feel like. So, let's see what the top 10 Lumians are. So, number 10 onto this list is going to be very controversial because it's going to be Gargolem base. Alright? That's around the same. Alright, that's a fair. I'm going to speed up this list because I don't know if I want to watch this one. Yeah, this list is already outdated. Yeah, Gargolem base makes sense. That makes sense. I can see that being up there. Number 9 onto this list is going to be Luxor. Yep, okay, fair. Luxor is fair. It's weird because 5 months before on my older list, I put Luxor as an honorable mention. And then I put it Luxor on this list, which is so weird. It has hastened now, though, so I don't know where it would rank now. Number 8? Number 8 onto this list is going to be very controversial because it's Shrimp Paste. Alright! Alright, this is a good list! This is a good start! Shrimp Paste's on the list, you know what? I don't hate this list so far. Maybe I wasn't that bad in early 2024. I just made 2 bad videos in a row, I guess. Wow. Alright. This is fair. Shrimp Paste is pretty bad. Yep. Good list. 7 onto this list is going to be Sumo Beetle. Yes! You know what? Early 2024, Sumo Beetle was not that good. Nowadays, Sumo Beetle is a little better because Guru Horndashi actually does some decent damage. But in early 2024, Sumo Beetle was bad. You know what? You know what? This list is not bad so far. It's not bad, but yeah, it's good now. Sumo Beetle is actually pretty good now, but in early 2024, January 2nd, 2024, it still ran Double Strike, so it just wasn't that good back then. But this is fair. This is actually a fair placement. I don't hate this. Number 6 onto this list is going to be Sherbot. Yep, you know what? Again, not a bad placement. I do have a soft spot for Sherbot. This was before I knew about Overcloak, which, yeah, Overcloak did not exist back then. So, it didn't have a way to double its speed. So, you were stuck with it being a one-trick pony. This, in my opinion, I thought Sherbot was worse Mocho back then. So, yeah. Nowadays, it's a little better because of Overclock. Overclock is a very good ability that actually gives Sherbot a niche on Thunderstorm teams. Even then, though, it still does not hit hard enough. It still only has 94 ranged attack. And it's one of the few Lumians that was not buffed by the base stat total buff. So, it makes sense why I put Sherbot in the spot back then. Alright, number 5. Number 5 onto this list is going to be Terrafly. Was Terrafly buffed at this point? Or was it still... Did it still have to deal with its dark garbage base stats? Let me say. User at the beginning. But, let's be honest, guys. Poison... Yeah, okay, it still had its garbage base stats, so that makes sense. Even though it did have ambush, it still had its garbage base stats that no one was even threatened by it. Yep. It wasn't buffed until Season 0, which that's late 2024. Alright, let's head to their next spot. Top 5 of this list. Number 4 onto this list. And this is where the really bad Lumians begin, because we have Cinemoth. Yep, Cinemoth was bad back then. Yep. So in this list, Cinemoth was higher than Terrafly. When on my last list, Terrafly was higher. That's interesting that I put Terrafly a little higher on this one. That's interesting, but overall, they're both next to each other. Shot. Number 3 onto this list is going to be Waka Laka. Yep, that makes sense. And again, this was before these were ran totemized, so fair. That's a fair placement, around the same spot. Number 2 onto this list is going to be Hydrolan. Yeah. Yep, Hydrolan's horrible. I wonder who number 1 is. Wiki Wiki? Whoa! It's Wiki Wiki! Who would have saw that one coming? Again, personally, I think I would have ranked Hydrolan higher than Wiki Wiki, honestly. But now I think Hydrolan might be one of the worst PvP Lumians. Either Hydrolan... Nautilek, but Nautilek was buffed, so I don't know. Oh man, this was... You know what? This was actually not a bad list. What does the comments think about this? Let's see. What does the comments think about this? Looking back, this list aged with fine milk. Wiki is great now. Super Beetle is great, good. Yeah, Waka Waka has a niche. Sharbot's great. And Thunderstorm, Cinnamon, kind of good. Okay, Cinnamon I disagree with, but Terrafly's kind of good. Things change fast. Yeah, but overall, by the time this list was out, this was actually not a bad list. But it definitely has aged like milk. I agree with that comment. Why everyone gets so angry over Avatros? He put in honorable mentions and talk about its improvements and how it's good now. Oh, I put it in honorable mentions. Oh my god, the Joshua Star knows I exist. Let's go. Does the lower the number mean better or worse? It means worse. Makes me sad to see Florent. It's been a while since I play, but whenever I use Waka Waka, it doesn't feel that bad. Yeah, it did have bulk, but again, its defensive typing was bad. Which, by the way, hi Puffy. Is Puffy still here? I don't think Puffy's here anymore. What's the purpose of Trip Route? I don't know. I don't know the purpose of Trip Route on Gobademic. I personally think that Terrafly because I think the bad people underestimate it. Yeah, like the thing is back then, even though it had ambush, nobody switched back then because nobody was threatened by Terrafly. They just stayed in and took the attack. That's the reason why it was bad. Although you said this Lumian will never get a job. Wait, huh? Because this Lumian will never get the job done. Never get the job done. Oh, that's hilarious. Wow. 100th like, good video. The fact that a majority of the worst PvP Lumians are typeless type proves just that this video is just wrong. Wow. Alright, Boot Sherpbot would be unbeatable in NU. Honestly, nah. Florent is funny and annoying when running stall, but for some reason I beat a team with stall Florent. Wow. Avatros, now we're fighting. What did I say? Avatros isn't on the list anymore. I have put it on the honorable mentions of how much it improved last time I ranked it. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this is when Avatros finally got Rogue Assault. Luxor runs V-Smart boots for a reason. Sinogre, ever since other Lumians got Spite, there's no reason. Oh yeah, Sinogre. I guess that's fair. Hydralin is way better than anyone on this list. No, Banana, I disagree. Hydralin sucks. Soul Beetle is the GOAT. Hop off, bro. It's better now. Okay, there's Cotton Stoops. Gargolem thrives in UU because it basically becomes the Gargolem A of UU. So I don't think it's the top 10 worst, because there are so much more Lumians that cannot be good and thrive in any other metagame. Which, that is actually a fair point. Like, the reason why I put it Gargolem based on the list is because Gargolem base was outclassed by all the other Gargolems. But, like Stoop said, when you have metagames where the other Gargolems are banned, that's where Gargolem base becomes very dangerous. So, it's fair. It actually is a fair criticism there that Gargolem base can thrive when the other Gargolems are around. Because it has the same move pool and pretty similar stats to the other Gargolems. But the reason why it was on my list is because it does take into fact that all the other Gargolems are in the metagame. So, yeah. Oh my god, look at this comment. Wiki needs a Soul Burst plus remake. It's so darn bad that I have no words to say. Oh god. Oh god. I wish we were back to the days where Wiki was bad. This comment has aged very well. Now, guess who's one of the most improved Lumians in the game? Wow. What's the base stat for Hydralin again? Not very good. 200 ranged attack, specialty goggles, Gobademic, Trip Root, Okos Tyrex. Oh, it's funny. It's not even baneful boosted. Oh god, that's crazy. Gobademic, the turkey can cook. And yeah, I think that's the last list I want to really talk about. But there is one top 5 that was hilarious that I wanted to react with y'all. And it was my top 5 boring Lumians from April 1st, 2023. This one's not popular. Only 949 views. But, oh my, there was a funny thing I did for this video. So, this was made on April Fool's Day. And, yeah, let's be real. Blowtalk should have had its swap with Brutal Rap. Yeah, that would have been a better ability. But yeah, top 5 most boring Lumians. And there was one little quirk about this video. I had a quirk in this video compared to some of my other top 5. So I haven't reacted to this. I don't think I made a recent top 5 most boring Lumians. So I want to see how this list aged in April 1st, 2023. But there was one little thing I did for this list. I don't know if y'all remembered this, but watch this.
Hello everyone. Today we're back into another top 5. And we're going to be talking about the top 5 most boring Lumians in all of Lumian Legacy.
I talked in its most boring voice of all time. I talked like, hello everyone, and today we are back for another Lumian Legacy Top 5 video. So I just talked in the most boring voice of all time. And I talked about that for the entire video, because this was made on April Fool's Day, and this was talking about the top 5 most boring Lumians. So it just made so much sense to talk in this boring voice. Looking back at it, I did not do a good job at talking in a boring voice, but I don't know, I found it kind of charming. Let's see who I put on the list.
5 on the list is going to be Benelin. Benelin is one of the best ranged tanks in the entire game.
Oh my god!
It's a pure toxic type, which is a great defensive typing.
I'm talking like the most boring voice of all time. So monotone.
But with its great range bulk, mixed battles absolutely.
We gotta watch this whole video. We gotta watch this masterpiece in full display. We gotta watch this masterpiece in full display here.
Boring, considering the fact that almost every.
Oh my god! You remember Zulong's old design? Oh my god! It has a brand new redesign now. It used to actually be on 4 legs.
One runs of Benelin on their team. There are other ranged tanks in the game that can be used, but none of them are as efficient as Benelin. Not to mention that it also has barter and heavy shackles.
Oh my god.
This was in my last top 5 most boring Lumians, but I think it was ranked too high.
Wow.
It's still very boring, but there are quite a few different ways to run it. That's why it's not.
Not to mention that the microphone is very scratchy as well. Oh my god, this is something. This is peak. This is peak. This is absolute peak.
Number 4 on the list is going to be Terrashino.
What?
This is basically Benelin, but probably worse.
Wow.
It has melee defense as well.
It had melee defense as well. The way I said that. Yeah, Terrashino is pretty boring, I won't lie. Although now it does have some other tools, but I don't know if it's any good.
Solidly hard, has bulk up, and just like Benelin, has rejuvenate.
Look at that bulk, though. That bulk's actually really good.
So, like Benelin, it has only 2 weaknesses, which is Brawler and Mine. Not to mention that it has an ability to make it tank super effective hits better.
Yeah.
You can also run Stretch, Bulk Up, Bequeath, and this is one of the best Bequeath Lumians in all of Lumian Legacy.
Please, that mic quality is so bad. This sounds like one of my first videos I've ever made, honestly. It's this I mean, it makes sense because this was an April Fool's video, but still, even with that context, this is great. This is bad.
But all this thing does is tanks hits and plays in stall matches.
Yep.
And I think everyone knows that stall matches aren't fun. And lots of stall teams have a Terrashino on that team because it's so bulky. It can pretty much live hits on any Lumian in the game.
Yeah, Terrashino's pretty boring.
Terrashino is really boring. And even though it doesn't have any annoying aspects, it's still really boring to use, and that's why it's on the list.
Oh, God.
I would put it higher, but, you know, there's nothing really bad about Terrashino.
Oh, beat the clips. Beat the clips. Please beat the clips.
Oh, it's just really
yes! Beat the clips!
Fun Lumian to use.
Skirt the clips!
Especially compared to any other tank you could use in Lumian Legacy. And that's why Terrashino is number 4 on the list.
I'll give it to that. It got a sweep after hazards are up, so that's good. Alright, that's good. To be honest, I feel like Timber deserves Heavy Fist, but I don't know if that would help it. Heavy Fist would be a fun ability to get. It would make sense, because, yeah, it does have big hands. It already has Ace, it's fine. Wrestling deserve... Yeah, Wrestling already has Ace.
So, yeah. Number 3 on the list.
Oh, God.
And of course this Lumian would be up here. Eclipse.
Yep, Eclipse. Oh, I still hate Eclipse even nowadays.
More immunities than weaknesses. Wow. I'm so ecstatic right now. Not to mention it has Dark Surge, meaning you can flinch opposing Lumians.
Oh, that's not boring. That's
Eclipse is a
painful.
boring Lumian to use. It's also a really annoying Lumian to go up against. A lot of people don't like Eclipse.
I never
including
did.
Me. It also has one of the best offensive typings in the entire game, meaning you can pretty much hit anything.
Yeah, why doesn't Himber have Frost Punch? That makes no sense. Although, it makes sense. Oh, by the way, I'll give myself that. That Gamma Pulse Predict on Garbantus is good.
Neutral damage. You can't even counter Eclipse with a Eclipse because it has Raging Howl.
Yeah.
And while Total Eclipse recently got nerfed, it still doesn't matter, considering that you could still hit any Lumian in the entire game. And if hit by a light or dark type move, you get a speed boost to outspeed everything. And
yeah, Eclipse hits so hard because it has light dark, which at the time nothing in the game could switch into it. The only Lumian that can really effectively switch into it are bug types, and now Wraith. Wraith is actually one of the better Lumians at dealing with Eclipse now, which is really good. If you want to beat Eclipse, run a Wraith.
That's why Eclipse is on every single team, and that's why Eclipse is so boring to use. So, yep, Eclipse, it was on our last list, and it's still here on this list.
Yeah, Eclipse is bad. Eclipse is a boring.
At number 3 on the list.
Eclipse was so boring back then. Oh my god, I still hate Eclipse even nowadays. Like, Eclipse is the kind of Lumian which you know what it's going to do, but you still can't stop it. It's that boring.
So, number 2 on the list, it's actually going to be Boonary.
Boonary? I mean, it makes sense. Oh yeah, because I was watching a lot of speeder videos back then, and back then he would consider Boonary as one of the most boring Lumians because Boonary would be ran on stall back then to copy a stall breaker or wall or setup sweeper and then win the game at the end. So yeah, Boonary was pretty boring back then. That makes sense. That does make pretty sense. Do I have any honorable mentions? I don't have any honorable mentions, unfortunately.
The most boring Lumian in the entire game is Obsidian.
Oh god,
wow,
yeah.
This thing is number 1. I am so shocked. I mean, this thing is boring. We had Tundralin on the list last time, but while Tundralin is still boring, it is not as bad as Obsidian. Oh my.
Yeah, this was around the time when Obsidian was the number 1 Lumian to beat.
My goodness. Beast Slumber gives it its health back. It also gives it a melee and ranged defense increase. It can live.
Yeah, I'm shocked Mutagon's not on this list, honestly. I'm actually kind of shocked. Gosh, you beat me with that opposite like 3 times in the past. No way. Had to fight someone spamming Beast Slumber? Yeah, it's painful. Yeah, Obsidian's fallen off so badly ever since Vice Jaws came out. Thank God Vice Jaws out.
Multiple hits from a Gargolem attack form. It can live hits from +6 Avatrosses and +5 Blowtoxes.
That's crazy.
Is really annoying. Not to mention, since Obsidian...
I remember having 1v1s with Obsidian that lasted for 20 minutes because Protective Shell Softwater Ventation with Brace Battering Ram. Oh, yeah! Protective Shell Ventation with Obsidian, and you just hope you crit it eventually. Oh god. Yeah, Obsidian back then was a demon. It was a demon.
Is so good. It's pretty much almost on every single...
Yeah, Obsidian looked so boring back then. Like, the remodelers they deserve a raise, because their remodels look so good nowadays.
Competitive team. And even with Resilience nerf, Obsidian is still one of the most annoying Lumians in the entire game.
Oh my god.
Yet it's only A tier on a lot of people's tier lists, so I don't know how that makes any sense at all, because Obsidian is the most overpowered Lumian in the entire game.
I'm not gonna lie, this video is putting me to sleep. I won't lie, I really went all out in my boring voice. Oh my god, this is really... This is actually putting me to sleep, I won't lie. I really did that good of a job on my boring voice. I really went all in.
game. It's also extremely boring to use, and it's absolutely annoying to go up against. So Obsidian deserves number 1 for being the most boring Lumian in the game.
Yeah, back then, ranged attacking moves would actually boost resilience as well, so it would hit a lot harder. So, okay, plus 600, very robust Ventation crit battering ram versus that absurd 50% chance to Oko. Oh god, it's brutal.
And here it is, Obsidian, the most boring Lumian in the game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This video was definitely very boring to make. Happy April Fool's Day. And I will see y'all all later. Bye-bye.
That was the best, worst video of all. I'm just gonna say this right now. This is the best, worst video of all time. What do the comments have to say for it? Only 20 comments for this one, because this one was not as popular. What is it? Is it Beast Slumber banned in PvP now? Okay, it's not banned. Where's Gobademic? You sound like you sound like have the commentary YouTubers I see nowadays. Honestly, it is. It does actually sound like a lot of the commentary YouTubers. Are you okay, bro? I was. It was just April Fools. It was just April Fools. Don't worry. It was just April Fools. Star is getting bored making content. LMAO. Gosh, your voice sounds so depressed. I was trying to make a boring voice. I'm one of those Ventolin users. Is this an April Fool's joke? Rank all flying types and make top 5 flying types. I might do that. Love how you talk slowly in this vid. Yeah, because it was a boring video. They should change Borok's essay resilience. It's so bad. Yeah, it's not the best on Borok. Soft water and peace of mind. Are you talking about... Yeah, talking about Cosmillion, yeah. I despise Ventolin. It caused me pain. Imagine if this was someone's first watching your vids. I know, that would most certainly be something. Oh, I didn't heart your comment. Alright. Did Josh just hit puberty? Oh, I've hit puberty a long time ago. Next video, top 10 Meta Lumian counters. That would be an interesting video. By the way, why aren't your voice isn't louder as your old videos? I wonder if you are sick or not. Why your voice? What happened to your voice? I think Meadows right there are good, but very boring. Oh my god. It was April Fool's, guys. It was April Fool's. Trust, it was April Fool's. That will be the final... Should I react to a modern video? Should I react to one of my let's react to one of my modern videos. Let's react to top 5. Let's react to one of my most recent. Hello, PvP. Everyone. Oops, did not mean to do that. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. So this is my most recent PvP video. Because Borealis is so boring. Yeah, Borealis is so boring now. Oh my god. But yeah, this is one of my most recent videos. This is probably this is my most recent top 5. I made 2 days ago, 1,000 views. So, let's see how one of my modern videos stacks up versus a old one. So, top 5 most improved Lumians from Rank Season 3s. I was actually pretty proud of this list. So, let's see who I put on this list. Humble Infernix. Infernix is number 5 Infernix. That makes sense. Looking back at this list, old Josh videos were like 15 to 20 minutes. Now they're like 30 to 40. Yeah, I talk a lot more in depth about the Lumians. It's weird. I talk a lot more in depth. No, this is an old video where Borealis... Yeah, Borealis was not in that video. But yeah, if I were to make a top 5 most boring Lumians now, it would definitely be like number 1 probably. But yeah, Infernix, number 5. Looking back at this, I think Infernix should have been an honorable mention. And I think Muriel should have been number 5. I think Muriel should have been number 5 because Muriel actually does pretty well in this meta. It got Feral Blast to hit Lashent. It hits Tyrex with Landslide. And Shadow Lurk can actually go through Wiki. It's one of the best counters for Wiki. I'm actually kind of shocked that Muriel has not been used that much this season. And while Muriel is on this list in honorable mentions, which, spoiler alert, it is an honorable mention, I think Muriel should have been on this list over Infernix. That's what I personally think. What do y'all think? Tell me in the comments below, like, what do y'all think about Infernix being on this list? I do think it is improved, though. And it makes... I do think it's good. I do think it is the best ranked Lumian. Underrated. And that's why it's number 5 on this list. You should try impersonate Cosmillion. When Speeder used it, it was funny. I should try it. That would be a fun video. I'm kind of out of ideas for showcases, so I think that would be cool to try out. Number 4 onto this list is going to be Senimars. Yep, Senimars makes a lot of sense. That's the good spot for Senimars. Senimars is basically the meta right now. I like that spot. Be Dusket. I don't think anyone is shocked that Dusket's number 3. Yeah, Bitter Cold and Raging Flame. Dusket is, again, basically the meta right now. I see Dusket a lot. It's pretty dangerous. Joshua, you should make the top best anti-meta Lumians. Honestly, I think that would be a pretty good list to make. I might make that this weekend, honestly. Honestly, thank you for the idea. I will definitely make that video. Yeah, Dusket's number 3. Who's number 2? Well, I really go in depth with Dusket. 3 minutes in talking about Dusket. 3 minutes of me talking about Dusket. I will say that's a long time to talk about Dusket. Wow. That's why it deserves number 3 on this list. Number 2 on this list is going to be Cosmere Unleashed. Yep, that's well deserved. Yep, Cosmere Unleashed is really good. Let's go to my honorable mentions. Let's see what my honorable mentions were. Passive ability was considered a nerf in quotation marks. There's me talking about Borealisk again. I still agree with all of these. Yep. Oh yeah, Trumbull! Mecha Wobble is actually pretty good into this meta. Trumbull, I mean, Battle Chime, Quick Pounce, we all knew this was going to be very dangerous. The thing that makes Trumbull very dangerous is that it doesn't even need a Battle Chime to hit pretty hard because it has 130 melee attack. So you're not even forced to click Battle Chime most of the time. Like, that's the thing I noticed when I showcased Trumbull, is that you didn't even need a Battle Chime most of the time in order to get it going. It's just late game, you click Battle Chime and then you just Quick Pounce everything else. Like, that's what makes... I think Trumbull is the best Battle Chime Lumian in the game for that reason. What are some of the other Lumians I had in honorable mentions? Dangerous without a Battle Chime. A Battle Chime makes it even more dangerous. Cosmillion will get Frost Blast after Route 9. Honestly, I think so, because with the snow weather... It wasn't confirmed, but Route 9 has snow weather, which makes so much sense. Yeah, it definitely does make so much sense. Ain't no way you put Dusket in number 3. Okay. Is Hasted Dusket overhyped? Yes. But it's when you combine that with Bitter Cold and Raging Flame, that's why I put it at number 3. You also got to remember that Dusket improved from one of the worst roamers to an actually good roamer now. It actually did improve. And the video was top 5 most improved limits. Yeah, it is overhyped. It's not trash, cheese. It's not trash. It's good. It has Hasted. And Luvian with 132 ranged attack and 109 speed, if you give it Hasted, it's going to be good. Not to mention that it can run 2 moves and a status condition that synergizes very well with Oppress. Dusket is good. It's overhyped, yes, but it is good. It is a most improved Lumian from Rank Season 3. You would never see a Dusket before this season. Trust me. So yeah, Terraclaw is on it. That makes sense. Vocaloa with Blaze of Glory. Yeah. Kirillin with Blaze Rush. And then, of course, Muriel that barely missed the list. And number 1 on this list is, of course, in Ranked Season 3 is Wiki Wiki. Wow, how the tides have turned. Remember that in my top 10 worst PvP Lumians from 2 years ago, Wiki Wiki would be number 1? Oh man, the tides have turned. But yeah, those are my top 5 videos. Oh man, that was something. This video, yeah, out of all the videos I reacted to, this was definitely one of my favorite ones. Because again, I just made it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Honestly, probably one of my better lists I've made. Oh my god. It better be, because it is one of my more recent lists. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this stream. I'm going to use the restroom. I'll be right back. I'll be right back real quick. I'm back, everyone. But yeah, that was me reacting to some of my older top 5s. If y'all want me to make more videos on me reacting to some of my top 5s, please tell me, because I think it's very interesting reacting to some of my older top 5s. It just shows how far I've went on the channel. So yeah, I'm not going to be hunting any raids today because I'm kind of tired, but I will stream again tomorrow on me grinding more raids. So yeah, Kabunga has 96... Let me just read some of the last few comments and then we'll end the stream. So, Kabunga has 76 base melee attack, outspeeds Aklos. It can outdamage Plasmoth, which is kind of funny. When's Twiddle getting a nerf? Twiddle's not getting a nerf at all. That thing is a monster. Wow, that's a lot of damage from Coconut. It actually has a shot to Oko Takuda. That's crazy. Didn't even wipe chat. Wipe chat? Eh? A Twiddle could do more. No, Twiddle's not doing more. No way. PvP stream when? I'll do a PvP stream soon. I am kind of burned out right now, so that's why I haven't been doing much PvP. Am I early, guys? Unfortunately, Spooderman, you are a little late. But if you do want to watch some of the way I react, yeah, we need more react to on rating videos. Yeah, that would be... I'm 100% going to stream more of these. I think these are good to stream because it's good to see y'all reactions live. I think these are better streamed than as videos, so yeah. But yeah, that's going to be the stream. It's going to be a relatively short one today, and yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Happy grinding on the Ikazune vouchers. I'm going to do more of these tomorrow. I'm going to try to open another 90 vouchers tomorrow. That's the plan. I want to get the 90 vouchers before I stream tomorrow. So, take breaks if you need to. Yeah, that's definitely what I've been doing a lot as of late. Ever since I got my game at Ika, I've been just relaxing a little bit more. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this stream, and I will see y'all all later. Bye-bye!